I've done a little bit of everything that I wanted to. I've trained groups, I've trained outdoor, I've done boot camp, I've trained in person, I've trained online, I've trained athletes. I trained a guy who was in the D League, actually. I've trained guys who still want to train athlete specific. I've done all the movement pattern stuff and all the cool things, and I've trained people's grandma, people's mom, husband and wife. Like, I've done it. It's cool. Well, so my name is Depay Charles, and as you can see, I have my shirt DC Fit, so Depay Charles Fit. That's a newer thing that I've started to go with, but it's always been something I knew that was, part of my brand, a part of who I am. I've been training for the better part of like close to 5 years now, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like, even if it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I've had clients, is this too early for me? Even if the yes is really a no, it's always no, it's not too early. I love what I do no matter what, and I'm just happy to do it no matter what. My favorite thing is that it's the look in my eyes for the look in their eyes kind of thing. When either you hit a PR or you do a movement you never thought you could do, or I don't push deadlifts on anybody, but if they want to deadlift, and watching them learn to hip hinge, learn to brace, pull your shoulder blades, pull your rear delts, the whole thing, just watching them make whatever progress it is, whether it's weight loss or moving more weight or moving things more efficiently. I love it when I can tell my clients, hey, you remember that thing that you were struggling with? You're doing that for 10 now. And watching that look in their eyes, even if it's a brief glimmer where they're like, huh, really? Or it's like, I didn't even notice that. I'm like, that means you're doing good. Like, I love when I get to say, that means you're doing good. That means you're doing a good job. Good job, you're doing good. I like when I can genuinely praise my clients for their progress and to watch them realize that they've made this progress. I do it feels good. Like, I can't explain it any other way than it feels good. And I've had clients that tell me, I don't know, you'll get me in here maybe 1 or 2 times a week, but I'm not gonna like it. And it starts off like that. You get the, it was all right, it was okay. Or you get clients that are, more or less kind of nonverbal throughout your sessions, and just your love of fitness can become their love of fitness. That's one of my favorite things. That's why I like to work out. Like, it's something that I love, and it's something I love watching people fall in love with. Because once you get the bug, it's like you can never go back now. Even if you have ups, you have your downs, you might even stop working out for 3, 5, 10, 15, whatever years. But once you pick the dumbbell up again and you get consistent with it, you're never going back. What really made this career or this path stick out to me most is, I'll never forget it. I was in high school. It was my senior year, and we were in maybe like a global studies class or something to do with economics, and they were telling us to pick out jobs and figure out, okay, what's a job that you would like to pursue, and look at its career path, its growth, its potential for making money. And I always knew, because I was in maybe high school, I was like junior year, senior year, and I knew I liked to work out, and I knew that was something that I really loved to do. And I found out, wait a second, this can actually be a career, and there's actual promise and money to be made in it. Not like I'm in it just for the money, but to be able to do something I love and to be able to support yourself with it is amazing. So I was like, from then on, I was like, I'm gonna become a certified personal. It was that day on, and never ever since have I looked back. It's like, I'm gonna become a certified personal trainer. Even when I was in school and I got my master's, or excuse me, my undergraduate degree in marketing, I always knew that I wanted to bring that back in some way, shape, or form to help me with personal training and growing in a business mindset. It was never to work in an office. And I would always say it, I'm like, I'll go work in an office for a year or two, collect all the experience I can, and then come back to the gym. I always wanted to come back here, and I've always wanted to train. So there's a wide range of people that I like to work with. I know some people prefer to do certain populations. Everybody has a specificity, which is great because, you can focus on one thing and do it to the absolute best of your ability. Some people like to work with, younger kids. Some people like to do senior fitness. Some people love the athletic realm. And when I first started out, I really thought that I would go work with, younger athletes. I really liked that idea because I was a younger athlete. So I'm like, this is cool. I basically just get to do what I do all the time anyway, but just tell somebody else how to do it. But over the years, I've trained so many different types of people. So I can't say that I have a specific population that I prefer. I've worked with older people before, and it has its own benefits that are amazing. Watching people get the confidence to bend down and pick things up it's such a big deal. Or having clients come back and tell me, man, I'm actually able to bend down in the shower with more confidence, or I'm not afraid to take certain steps, or you watch them and they walk with a little bit more confidence, a little bit better posture is amazing. I've worked with guys who were former D-League basketball players, and just watching them get back into a sense of feeling athletic and moving athletically is amazing. And I've worked with younger kids, and it's like, you know, that is like one of my all-time favorites, because it's like I'm looking back in time and I'm looking at the 14 or 15 or 16-year-old me, and it's like, hey, look, like I've learned a lot along the way, and I just want you to do the best you can, and I want to be able to, you know, take all of my pluses and give you none of my minuses. I want to give you the best version that you can get at this age. Starting out in the commercial gym, I feel, is one of those things that not everybody wants to do, but it's important to get a sense of how to do. There's so many things I learned from working in a commercial gym. I used to work at LA Fitness. You might know I do a lot of black and silver. You can take me out of LA Fitness, but I guess some pieces you can't take out of me. But, you know, time management, how to book clients, and I know nobody likes sales. We didn't get into personal training to be salesmen and wear suits, but there are some concepts that actually make a lot of sense. And with that, there's a lot of things that, you know, you might not like, you might not enjoy. You know, you might not enjoy an overbooked schedule to the point where it's like, you feel like you're not taking the best care of your clients that you can. But time management and just learning how to work with different people has just been one of the greatest things that I can take away from that. You know, you work with someone who's, you know, super athletic, wants to superset everything, total body, everything to the wind, balls to the wall kind of thing. And then you have to slow your pace down, because you have to realize your next client, she's in her late 60s. Like, you need to take your time, balance, posture. Like, you cannot train your 67-year-old client the same way you train your 27-year-old client. So learning that early on was really important for me, and also just being able to manage my time. And I said that probably like 5 times in this moment, but it really makes a difference. I remember the first time I trained a client, they didn't tell me how long I had. I would train my clients for like an hour and a half, because in the beginning you have like 1-2 clients, hour and a half, regular day. But learning how to manage your book is extremely important, and it makes it so that way your clients know, okay, I know how to pace myself accordingly in this workout, and they can actually start to see more consistent and more adequate progress. Because if I train you 30 minutes one day versus an hour and a half the next day, it's like, that's not the best gauge. Some moments in the evolution of my training style are definitely the incorporation of working online. You know, it's always something that it's like, yo, man, I want to work online. I want to be this, you know, this online presence, because you see guys that work solely online and it seems to work so well for them. They seem to be able to connect with so many people, and it's like, you want to find a way where you can be able to get in touch with so many people, but not water yourself down. So that's something that's like, I was like, man, I really want to get online. I want to program for clients and, you know, sit down and do the Zoom thing. But I'm someone who doesn't like to sit for a long period of time. Like, even my clients will notice, if you see with me in person, like, I might lean on something, I might move, I can't just sit still. So that was the biggest thing this year, learning how to do. Because with the pandemic and everything that happened, you know, transitions and changes have to be made. So I've had some of my clients move online, and learning how to work online and how to set up my time and how to, you know, set up the Zoom camera and set it in such a way that I can demonstrate an exercise and figure out how to make myself okay with sitting down for like an hour at a time has been one of my biggest progresses. And I've made progress on starting to even work towards a website, like this close to being done with it, just a couple more technical programming things to get done. But just, this has been the biggest push for me, is just actually being adaptive. I like that it's big but small. Like, there's a lot of people that seem to know each other, even if I don't directly know them. Somebody I know knows of this person. And I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of layers to what this fitness community really is. Like, it's not just personal training, it's not just bodybuilding, it's not just different local events or different groups of people or just a bunch of different things, but they're all kind of one thing. It's like an onion, actually. Like, when I first started out, you know, you don't know as much as you think you do, but you have this whole textbook in front of you, but now you realize the book is just sitting on a shelf of a bunch of different things. I feel like that's been one of the coolest things, is to realize, like, okay, like, there's this sphere of personal trainers, and then there's this sphere of bodybuilders, but like, we all kind of connect. Like, there's some guys that's like, oh, you know such and such? I'm like, you talking about that such and such? Like, yeah, I know him. Or it's like, you know Joe Drake? I'm like, of course I know Joe Drake. So it's been really cool to see that. So there's definitely a lot of things I've learned to be true versus things that I thought were true within the industry. Like, there's a stigma that as a personal trainer, you have to be the epitome, or the stereotype in some senses of everybody's idea of fit. I need to be huge, I need to eat nothing but this and that. Like, oh, I don't want my clients to see what I'm eating today, because it's like, you know, one of those days where it's like, am I allowed to bulk because I'm a trainer? Like, I need to keep lean most of the year, kind of thing. Like, learning how to manage your appearance, not only for yourself, but also for your clients, is one of the things that I see is it's a lot different than what I thought it was gonna be. Or it's like, oh, I'm not as lean right now. Like, I don't want people to think that I don't practice what I preach. A lot of the time I've learned most of your clients' trust in you doesn't come from your outward appearance. Like, that's might be why they sign up with you, but your actions and the way you actually conduct yourself is one of the biggest things I've learned is why your clients come to you and why they trust you. I've had people that it's like they've had trainers and coworkers of mine, and this isn't to bash anybody, but it's like they'll go off and work with them, and then something happens and they need to work with me for a short time when I was in the corporate sphere of training. And they'll tell me, it's like, I've actually never had it explained like that before, and I might know such and such is an amazing trainer. They might just not vocalize it or explain it the way that I do. So not looking down on myself is one of the biggest things, because when you first start out, there's all types of stuff that you feel like you're up against. Like, there's this guy who's super ripped, so I'm not as ripped. I mean, I'm very lean, but I'm not this and that. So learning to put your outward or inward feelings about yourself to the side is one of the biggest things I've learned. Anybody that's looking to get in the industry, I have a few pieces of advice. I know I ramble a lot, but this is going to be one of the more concise things as far as advice from me goes. Don't be afraid to work corporate, even if it's for a short time. There's so many lessons that you're going to learn from them. And if you're not going to work corporate, find somebody more experienced that you can work underneath. If it's someone in the Axiom Academy, or your local gym owner might need a trainer, or if you can even shadow or partner with a more experienced trainer, I would definitely recommend that, because there's so many learning experiences and so many things that you have to go through that it's so much better to go through with somebody else than on your own. So that's one of my biggest takeaways. And also to just breathe, don't stress yourself out. I feel like that's just a chronic thing that we all do, is give ourselves way more stress than we need to. So take a step back, even if it means planning, writing, not moving as fast as you want to. Take some time, write some things out. Actually put it on a whiteboard if you want to, but just plan. Take a second, think about what you're gonna do. Because that's definitely been one of the things that I've learned, that as I've gone along kind of thing. Like, while I'm already walking, I'm like, maybe I should tie my shoes. So tie your shoes before you walk.